It's time for some fresh portfolio inspiration. Let's get right into it. So I want to get started with this studio, Strudel, which is a one-person studio for a product designer named Toby. And what's really cool about this is that he is a product designer, and he basically designed this website to look like the interface of Mac. So the best thing that you can do if you're trying to sell your skill is just show the actual skills. So if you're designing interfaces, he just designed an interface. And so like the website itself shows the qualities of a product designer, and it's very, very cool. You can click it. Everything here looks very much like, again, like a Mac interface. You're sending a message, and I think it's really cool. It has some jokes here in the background, like how did you find us, and it looks really, really cool the way he's telling the story. So success stories, instead of just showing like a boring portfolio, you basically read the testimonials, Toby delivers and blah, 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 and then you can click to see the case study. You can see his roadmap, his process roadmap, so you can click that and basically see kind of like a map. And I know all of you are thinking, oh, this looks great, but what happens on mobile? Well, if I'm going to go here and do inspect to see what it looks like on mobile, then it basically loads up as if this was a mobile interface. So he knows the difference between, Mac OS interface and then iPhone interface. And then here you can see everything looks completely different. So this is just like optimized for a mobile interface. I think this is really, really creative and shows that if you're a product designer, show give a product experience. I really, really love this. I think this is super creative. He also has this thing here, kind of like a slideshow that, if you're working with other people, you might need a strategist, a project manager, UX researchers. Instead, you get one Toby. I think he's doing fantastic work, showing the quality of his work and also kind of like the fun vibe that he is. I really, really love this portfolio website. The next one, kind of like completely different. This one is for Igor Sokoltsov. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. And this guy is, as you can see here, like a design system designer. So this guy is doing something else, and he wants to design the website. Again, if you're a design system thinker, you want to have everything organized, and that's the feel that you immediately get when you're getting into here. Everything is clear and everything is organized and systemized, so that's what you want to show. Now, there are not a lot of works here, and I actually like this. I think that if you're looking here, basically he has, in the case studies, 2 work that are, to be done. You can actually click them and see something. So basically there is one product here, one case study that he broke into 2, which you can click and then see the project. And I want to say to you, if you don't have too many projects in your portfolio, here's a great example of how you can build a beautiful portfolio with basically just one work in it. And again, this is broken down, the case study, with all of these grids to make everything very, very organized. And it tells you who the person is, right? He's probably very, very organized, tells you about his process, which is exactly the thing that he is selling here on this website. I think it's done really, really well. By the way, before we dive into the next one, I just want to mention, sometimes I show these websites for inspiration. It's kind of like overwhelming. You think you need one just like this, but the most important thing is that you have your portfolio out there showing something and letting people know who you are. If you need help with this, check below. We now have a program called Stand Out Portfolio in 7 days, so just make sure that you have something. All right, the next one I want to show you is completely different. Again, one is for a designer, or actually a design leader called Satu, who is basically the director of brand at Squarespace. Now this is super, super minimalistic, and I love this. I'm just going to scroll through this just to show you how you don't really need much more than just one image, and a very, very small typeface. And when you're a really good designer, you don't even need a grid. You don't need anything. You just put things there. And no matter where you stop here, you're going to have a impactful, beautiful layout, right? A lot of times, if you watch my videos on layout, I say that the best kind of like tip for a layout is have something big, something medium, and something small. And every place in this website where you're going to stop, you will see that the composition is basically you're going to have a big element, a medium element, and then a small element, and it just creates beautiful, beautiful compositions. Obviously, she is a very confident designer, and she doesn't need to shout. She doesn't need to put fancy effects. You can just pick a good typeface, make good typography and good layouts, and it just looks beautiful. And I love this website. I'm super, super impressed. The last two websites that I want to show you are actually studio website. And this one is called Studio Partners in Crime, actually. So PIC. And this website, let's see it. It has like a layout that I haven't seen a lot in different portfolios. So basically, the navigation is on the left side, and the navigation is basically the logos of their clients. So you can immediately see logos that you know, starting with Gucci and stuff like that. So immediately kind of like giving you a social proof, and you can see the logos. And here on the right, they're basically just throwing images at you. They're not telling you too much. They're just showing beautiful visuals and some kind of a call to action. Let's work together. Nothing actually is clickable. So this is no case studies and stuff like that here, just showing you beautiful visuals, trying to convince you within the first 10 seconds that what they know how to do is create really beautiful, eye-catching visuals. You can see who they are. So this is a very, very, I think, minimalistic kind of like portfolio. No, almost no text at all. I mean, there's this little kind of like where the future-focused design practice driven by technology, but not too much text, not too much content, just see for yourself, right? And then if you want, you can, of course, pick like a project and then check out the case study, which also is mostly visual, right? I guess that's their focus. Things are beautiful. But I love this. Not too much text, not too much trying to sell or explain, just show you, and the proof is there. Very cool and unique grid to this portfolio. I haven't seen a lot. Now, the last one that I want to show you is for this branding studio called Relays. And this is really interesting. If you try to scroll here, there's actually no scrolling here on this website. You can just basically click, and so you're actually basically in a slideshow, right? So this is a branding studio, next who they are. So you click and you kind of move into the next slide, which is basically telling you about the founders of the studio. Next what? So what do they do? You're basically moving through slides. Now there's a little bit of a nice animation. And again, each one of them is well designed, good layout. Why? You're moving through this. And one thing that I want you to note here is that it's focused on storytelling. I haven't seen any work yet. And now if you are going to actually read you might find a small link here that, hey, here are 3 recent case studies, and you can click this and actually see some case studies. But basically, they're not guiding you to see their work. They're just trying to tell a good story. And by having the story designed well, this kind of like presentation with slides, it's basically, they know they're going to convince you to work with them even without showing you their work, which I think is, again, very confident, and very, very nice. So this is also a unique, and I love their approach for selling their studio. All right, let me know below which one of them you liked the most, and if you want to see us rebuild one of those to explain, maybe in Webflow, maybe something else, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.